Welcome everyone. This is the Decks of the Weekend. It's Monday, and I'm actually in Berlin. You can see my logo behind me of Card Market that's hosting me for these days. This trip in Berlin has been quite a challenge, I have to say. Started with my flight on Friday. Just my ticket got canceled for some reason by Lufthansa. I had to buy a new super expensive ticket. Then my luggage got lost. So I am wearing T-shirt that my friends borrowed me. In the meanwhile, the stores are always closed, so I couldn't really go shopping. But nonetheless, I've had, of course, a lot of fun. Hanged around with my good friends. Played on Saturday a car market showdown tournament. I made the top 8 with my Vivian combo deck, which I'm gonna play again for the channel soon. My updated list, since the list always changes. But I'm gonna start today talking about the modern deck that won the Showdown Challenge, and it was won by Simon Nielsen. Simon Nielsen is a very good friend of mine. We're gonna commentate together, actually, the Malmo 10K happening this weekend in Sweden. So it's Monday, I'm in Berlin. Tomorrow I go back home, and then on Thursday I'm gonna fly to Malmo in Sweden to commentate with Simon Nielsen and Andres Peterson this 10K tournament. And again, Simon won with Elementals, but not the Yorin Elementals that you used to. Glimpse Elemental with Glimpse of Tomorrow. So I've played this deck on the channel, so you can find this deck like probably last week, since it got popularized by Xeno1, a French player. And the innovation of this deck is that, sure, you have the Shardless Agent Outburst Glimpse for Tomorrow, creating a lot of game objects with Colony Garden and Wave Sifter. But you also have the fair plan of just going Reason Reef Omnath with your Cabin of Souls, making uncounterable. You cast one of your 4 Fury, one of your 4 Endurance, and you just, it's just a fair deck combined with the combo of Glimpse for Tomorrow. The deck is playing 4 Fable of the Mirror Breaker instead of Season Pyromancer. Season Pyromancer obviously works well with Reason Reef, as the tokens are good, but Season Pyromancer itself is a human, so it might be a little bit awkward to cast. It's double red with Cavern of Souls. Fable of the Mirror Breaker has proven to be a very strong card, just getting to filter through Find Your just Cascade spells, or just a very excellent card in Magic. Trying it out in all the formats. Cyborg does Subtlety and other elementals, so works well with Reason Reef and Cavern of Souls, and it's good against the Elementals deck, the Titan. Foundation Breaker over Force of Vigor, of course, triggers Reason Reef, uncounterable, and then a couple of removal spells for Ragavan. If you're on the draw, you definitely need Bone Crusher or Dead Gone, especially Dead Gone, and then Dispute. So yeah, this deck is maybe better than the 4-color Omnath version. I wouldn't still put it in the tier 1 decks, but it's definitely, you know how in Modern, these cards of this deck has been around forever, although yet no one combined the Elemental package with Glimpse. So there's so much to learn in Modern, and the decks that we see right now, defined right now, they might not be actually the best choice, the best choice, in fact. Next format I'm going to talk about, I always talk about 3 formats, is Legacy, as there was the Legacy Showcase yesterday, and with over 300 people, and was won by Arkan from Czech Republic. He's a streamer, and he played the famous Czech pile. So this is a deck that Thomas Marr, a Czech Republic player, top-8'd the 4 Seasons with. The tournament I top-8'd with Mono Blue Artifact. I beat him in the top 8. He was playing this deck, and then his countrymate Arkan streamed all the way to the first place with this deck. What's this deck? So this is a 4-color control deck. It's playing the famous Scrubland Skullintarn. It's the famous Scrubland Skullintarn strategy. You have basically the control elements, all the control elements. So you have Source of Plusher and Prismatic Ending, the best removal spell if you want to play control in Legacy, as well as Baleful Strix, one of the just greatest 2-for-1 that you can cast on turn 2, super easy plan. And then you have card advantage plan of Snapcaster Mage and Expressive Iteration, which is excellent in this deck. Even if it's not an aggro deck, the curve is still so cheap. You have Amtuturek and Inquisition. Sorry for the sound. I'm in Berlin, super traffic city. Not necessarily means that you spend a lot of time in the traffic, but there's just a lot of people. Of course, it's much bigger than my small tiny town. And yeah, I was going to say that you have Inquisition of Kozilek and Turak. Those are kind of two cards that Thomas Mar loves. Personally, not a big fan of Inquisition, but Thomas Mar really puts Inquisition in all of his deck. Even back in the days, he was very famous when Deathray Shaman got out and Leovold, the famous jackpot, and still famous to this day, as this deck top 84 season, a 400 people tournament, and won the Legacy Showcase, a 320 people tournament. So definitely a deck to keep in mind. In the sideboard does Meltdown and Stony Silence to beat the Artifact deck. A lot of hate coming in for my poor Kappa Cannoneer deck. For Pyroblast, even Hydroblast to handle the Mono Red Prison deck. That's, Blood Moon. As you can see, no basic in this deck. Blood Moon is very hard to beat. There's also one Mystic Sanctuary that Legacy Council added. Not good with Scrubland and Badlands, but if you fetch accordingly against the control deck, you can definitely put back on top of your deck an Expressive Iteration or a Cool Against Command for the win. Finally, I'm gonna show you Standard, not opening Magic Arena because I already had to download Magic Online on this computer here at Card Market Studio, so I'm not also going to download Magic Arena. But here we are. So this is a deck that Matt Brown came second in the challenge with on Saturday, and actually another person, another Magic Online grinder, Medvedev, brought to second place to the next challenge the following day. So this deck got back-to-back second place in modern standard challenges, and wow, it's definitely something that I never expected. Like last month I played the New Capena Set Championship, I was playing Esper, and I just couldn't ever imagine an aggro deck like this to be successful. Like, it plays a card that I actually had to read, Sunrise Cavalier. 3 mana, 3/3 trample haste, and it becomes day, and when day becomes night, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. This is just basically a Bogger Ram Gang, 3 mana, 3/3 haste, trample, and then it can become bigger. This deck is super aggro. You have Thundering Raikou, you have of course a Minarch Aspirant, one of the best aggressive cards, and you have Kukumano and Hopeful Initiate. The mana base of this deck is so shaky. It doesn't even play the full 4 Sundown Pass. I guess afraid of it coming into play tapped on turn 4 in a key moment to play your Raikou on curve. Valor Stance as well as Bloodthirsty Adversary. If you pay 5, you can flashback a Play with Fire, a Royal Eruption, and just burn your opponent, burn a creature, and etc. It's playing Brutal Qatar, whereas Medvedev the next day came in second place, not playing Brutal Qatar, but playing the Reckless, the Stormseeker. So that's a little bit of a change you can make. In the sideboard, there's also plays a super sweet card, Angel Fire Ignition. It's a 3 mana sorcery, and it's like you read this card, and be like, wow, that's like insane. Put 2/++ on counter, Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, Haste. You can swing the race with this card. If you put it on a Raikou or in the Sunrise Cavalier, you can really just drain them for 5, and that could be a huge deal in the control in the aggro mirror match. And then you have Kami's Flare, another card that I didn't really know. It's basically a Searing Blaze if you control modified creature. And modified creature, you can control them thanks to the Raikou, the Sunrise Cavalier, the Luminarch Aspirant, or even the Bloodthirsty Adversary and Hopeful Initiate. Almost like every of your creature is modified. So that's kind of a cool card, definitely unexplored in Standard. So, I saw this deck, I'm like, wow, this is definitely something that, it's not conventional and Standard right now, as much as people like to say, oh, it's Inata, oh, it's, I don't know, Esper, oh, it's Jeskai Dragon, it's still open, and despite I don't play Magic Arena anymore as much as I used to, I think it's super cool format, and yep, that's it. So, I'll try to keep the YouTube channel up to date with 1 video a day. That is my goal with my channel, if you'll be following me. Although this week, obviously, there's some challenges, as last week I didn't. 2 weeks before, I had COVID the whole time. I still managed to, go out there. Then I traveled here to Berlin, then I'm going to travel to Copenhagen. So, since December that I started my YouTube channel, I had no problem in keeping up the content. Now it's the first time that I'm starting to struggle a bit. Yeah, I just try my best. If you like the content, like what you see, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, I hope I can bring you entertainment with my videos, and have a good day, everybody.